this time, I would like to have approval of call to order and approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda? Second?
Second.
All in favor say aye. All opposed? Okay. Mr. Holmes, would you like to say the pledge of allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Second. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Consent agenda approved. Next up is student advisory. Let's see.
You have a microphone somewhere.
There's one down there somewhere, I think.
Yeah, there should be. Did Mr. Clemo go off the microphone?
Come here, baby.
Just start talking.
We would like to introduce Jamie Brannon, our new student advisory sponsor. Yes, see that, okay. The student advisory survey is on the district website, and the schools have been contacted, and the results of the 2014-2015 survey are ready to present in the March meeting. I guess it is. The student advisory members are Trent Radley and Tommy Smith that are going to be going to the SCOPE convention. That's Monday, March 9th. Winners of the recent FBLA regional competition include Joshua Oaks, Kansas Redmond, and the entrepreneurship team Sabrina Caldwell, Brenda Serta, and Samantha Salkick. The Warren County FFA has broken 2 records this year. 17 FFA members have earned the highest honor at the state level and the state FFA degree. Second, we've got 2 Middle Tennessee Star winners. Hayden Hildreth won the Middle Tennessee Star in Agribusiness, and Clay Prater won the Middle Tennessee Star Farmer. FCCLA will be attending the district competition on March 12th at UTSU.
Thank you.
Okay, next up is operations report by Mr. Cox.
I've got the other ones now.
Coach Cannon, if you'll come up here, if you don't mind, Ms. Cantrell. Ms. Cantrell's here. We wanted to recognize, we've got a lot of recognitions tonight. Wanted to recognize Coach Cannon. I don't know if you've got any members of your ranks and call team here. If they're here, we'd like them to come up as well. And we recognize a good looking group of young men right there. Now, I think all the trophies that we've got back here behind us are the trophies that your team and yourself have won over the past couple of years, I guess. As a board, we wanted to recognize you with a special certificate of recognition to recognize the 2015 Morrison Elementary Boys Basketball Team is awarded this certificate of special recognition for their second place finish in the boys state tournament. We want to recognize you for that and tell you we're proud of you and proud of you guys. We appreciate that. We appreciate you guys and wanted to come here to Morrison School to recognize you. I think the next item is our spelling bee winners, is that right? I think we've got Mr. Sherrill here, but we'll turn it over to Ms. Turner, who is taking care of that.
Thank you. We had our spelling bee earlier in the year. It was either late January or early February. I think it was late January. And all the students that participated in that system level competition were very impressive. We have grade level winners here tonight that we'd like to recognize. And we also have one of those grade level winners that won the overall competition. So, first of all, let me say that the spelling bee is for students in 4th through 8th grade. So our 4th grade winner is Duncan Clever from Liberal, but he is unable to be here tonight. I think with the weather we had last week and having to reschedule the board meeting, he just couldn't make it tonight. So, but do want to recognize him, and I'll make sure that he gets his trophy presented to him, hopefully in front of all of his classmates too. 5th grade winner from Hickory Creek, Shelby Roberts. Shelby, are you here? Come on up. We'll have Director Cox present those. Yeah, come on up. The 6th grade winner is also the overall winner, and I believe he was the overall winner from last year, and he is a very impressive speller. Hearing the words that he spelled last year and this year, he is a speller. Caleb Smith from Morrison, come on up. His room might be full of spelling bee trophies. Our 7th grade winner is Alex Owen from Centertown. And last but not least, our 8th grade winner is Gracie Upchurch from Warren County Middle School. I don't see Gracie, but I'll be sure to present her trophy to her at the middle school, again, in front of all her peers. I'm sure she'll be excited about that. So let's give these winners and wonderful spellers one last time.
I want to also thank the Southern Standard for sponsoring that for us this year again. Before Ms. Turner, well, she's going to get pictures made. Before she goes too far, she's the next item on the agenda again. Continuing our recognitions, we wanted to recognize our Teachers of the Year, and Autumn and Betty both were with that, and they've been recognized already. I think they got a surprise recognition at their school, but I wanted to recognize them here in front of the board.
They have already been recognized at their school, and that's always a fun day for those of us who are able to go and surprise those teachers right in the middle of their class. We just walk in and say, hey, guess what? You're Warren County Teachers of the Year. But again, we also wanted to recognize them in front of the board and have you all see our winners. We're very proud of them. I also want to, before I call them up, I want to read to the board some of their responses in their applications. I just kind of read through the 3 applications and picked up some very interesting and very meaningful portions of their application. I'll start with our pre-K through 4th grade winner, and I'll call you guys up here in a minute. But our pre-K through 4th grade winner for System of the Year is Tanera Martin. And I'm very happy to say the regional competition was decided upon late last week, Thursday of last week, and she also has been selected as Upper Cumberland Core Center Teacher of the Year. And I think that's 16 to 17 counties that she competed with, and she's our regional Teacher of the Year. So she goes on to compete in the Grand Division competition next. But the portion that I pulled from her application addresses the question, how are your beliefs about teaching demonstrated in your personal teaching style? And I hope I don't embarrass any of these teachers, but they were great responses. Her response was, I'm a very active, eager, and passionate teacher in my classroom. I try to motivate my students in every possible way to make sure they are learning at the highest level. I use positive reinforcements and celebrations for each child. We focus on the small daily accomplishments so each child feels successful. Those celebrated accomplishments add up to the great victories for the year. I make sure each child believes in themselves and in their classmates. I differentiate my lessons on a daily basis so that each student feels like they are understanding all concepts. I am the facilitator that guides them through the learning process because they are able to reach a higher level of comprehension. My lessons are engaging and stimulates the students' thinking process to support their learning. So I thought that just explains what a teacher should do every day, and it's not just words on a paper. Tamara does it. So that's one of the many reasons why she was selected as pre-K through 4th grade Warren County and Upper Cumberland Teacher of the Year. Come on up. That's what I thought she'd do. But thank you so much for the work you do day in, day out. And we're very excited about your next level competition. So, okay, I won't make you take the mic. Congratulations. Thank you. The next teacher that I'd like to recognize and celebrate is our 5th through 8th grade Teacher of the Year, Ms. Joanna McNeil-Carden. And the part of her application that I picked out to read is, if you are selected as Regional or State Teacher of the Year, what message would you like to share with your fellow educators? Her response was priceless. You matter. The smile you give your students as they enter your classroom in the morning matters. The lesson plans you work on until 1 a.m., searching for the perfect activity and anchor chart and exit slip and video and hook, they matter. The grading you do after school and on weekends, placing smiley faces on the papers of students who finally, ! Got it, it matters. The feedback on their writing matters. The meaning that you find to begin class, pique your students' interest, and get a laugh despite eye-rolling matters. The tears you shed over a neglected student matter. The conversations you have with your colleagues, seeking their advice on your latest problem to solve, disinterest, disengagement, lack of classroom money, difficulty teaching an important concept, a student you worry about getting enough food at home, they matter. Your opinion on a whole range of topics matter. You matter. Your time and expertise and determination all matter. You are a driving force in children's lives. You know what needs to be done, and you do it. Standards change, and you keep teaching. Evaluations model evolve, and you keep teaching. You matter. So with that said, I'd like to call Ms. Joanna up here and tell her that she matters, and your response was so eloquent. So, Joanna Carden, thank you so much for the work you do. Thank you. Okay, and finally, our 9th through 12th grade Teacher of the Year, you all know very well, is Miss Patty Smith. She does such great work. I know Mr. Walker nominated her, and for many reasons, the work she does in the classroom, the work she does with student advisory, the work you do to bring extra funds to our system. So the portion of the application that I'll read for Ms. Smith addresses describe your personal feelings and beliefs about teaching, including your own ideas of what makes you an outstanding teacher. Describe the rewards you find in teaching. Her response, an outstanding teacher wears many hats. Good teachers know their content. However, outstanding teachers are effective communicators who can capture the attention of his or her students and create an environment suitable for learning. In addition, an outstanding teacher is enthusiastic and encouraging, patient, caring, loving. Outstanding teachers can understand different learning styles and can adapt their lessons accordingly. I am a teacher, I am a learner, I'm not perfect and I never will be, however, I am constantly working toward improving my craft. And that is the hallmark of a wonderful teacher. So come on up. Can't get anybody to take mine. Congratulations, thank you so much. Oh, I will say, and I'll get back in, I will say that we always recognize our Teachers of the Year in August in front of all their colleagues, so we'll do that and have another level of celebration for these wonderful system level teachers of the year and our Upper Cumberland Teacher of the Year.
Just again, want to thank everybody for coming, especially our teachers of the year. I was privileged to serve on the committee to score that at the regional level. I didn't get to score ours, but I know they had a hard time because I heard them talking, and I was going, yeah, you really need to pick those people. You really need to pick those people. So it was. We have really good candidates, and again, just shows the type of teachers that we have, and it's even better to see that I think all three have teaching in their background, and long-time educators here in Warren County, so we really appreciate that as well. So just wanted to say thank you, and again, we'll give you another recognition. I didn't get to go give the flowers and surprise them balloons at the time that they were surprised in front of their class. That's always a highlight, but we will recognize you formally again in front of your peers at the beginning of the year. So again, thank you for everything that you did. I'll go back up here. I think our next item is going to be Sonia Walker. Come forward. She is going to talk to us about our flu vaccinations and a program that we could possibly take advantage of.
I would like to ask the board's approval for an in-school influenza vaccination clinic for the fall of 2015. We will do this in partnership with the Warren County Health Department. And Pat Williams is here with the Warren County Health Department tonight. But I have spoken with Bobby about this, and we know that influenza usually enters a community through children, and children are known to be major transmitters of flu to other people. So I feel like this collaborative effort with the health department would benefit our community and our children, and keep our children in school, which is ultimately our goal here. So I just would like to ask for your approval on that if you have any questions.
I think when we talked earlier about that, we're talking for next.
It'll be in
next
the
school year.
fall of 2015.
Okay, and then each, vaccine that's given, parents have to sign off on that.
Yes, there will be paperwork on our part. The health department will have all the paperwork. We will be getting the paperwork home to all parents, and they will be consenting for the flu mist or the actual vaccine itself. And if we do not have proper paperwork, the child will not be able to take the vaccine in school.
Then I asked Robin to talk a little bit about any liability that we may have, and you need to speak to anything about that.
Well, we had this option last year, and we decided not to do it and to look at some other counties that were doing it. Primarily I was concerned, and what we discussed was, of course, liability for a child having a reaction or something like that, or just for there's so much paperwork involved in this type of thing. But Sonia got with the people who did it, I think in Cookville, and maybe another county as well. They thought it was successful. They thought it was manageable. I think we have got assurances from the health department that they will help with the amount of paperwork as well as the manpower to give the shots. That being said, and they had a very good response from the county that we contacted about that. I did look at the paperwork. I think it was all in order and allows us to, not, of course there's a risk and everything, but I mean, this is signed off on by parents, and I think that it's a risk worth taking because there's very low liability on it.
Putnam County, I did speak with their nursing director, and Putnam County Schools did this. She was very complimentary of the program. They partnered with their health department. They vaccinated 2,500 children. They plan to do it again this year. She said that as long as you have a good working relationship with your health department, which we do here, that it went very smooth. So,
I think personally, I think it's a great thing. I mean, I know we got hit pretty hard before Christmas was out. Our attendance rate at its highest point, I think it didn't get over maybe 12%. But I think it would be a good opportunity for us.
I've been in conversation with Dr. Kelly Moore, who is the state director for the Childhood Immunization Program. And my impression is that she strongly endorses this. She's very proactive about it, takes her job very seriously. And I've also talked to Sonia and Mr. Cox about this. I wholeheartedly endorse it, and I want to compliment that great working relationship with Warren County Health Department. That's been a big help in this. So, Madam Chairperson, I want to move that the board approve the recommendation and proposal for the flu vaccination clinic in the fall of 2015 and 16.
Now, got a motion on the floor for a recommendation from the Science Study Coordinator from Warren County Health Department. Flu vaccinations for the year 2015 school year. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Our next item is the 2015-16 calendar. We discussed the calendar at our workshop. I think that seemed to be early February. I believe, February 9th. Prior to that, we did a survey with all parents before Christmas to try to get feedback from that. Then we also sent that out to our staff to get feedback, kind of gathered some of those feedback. There's still a couple of items that we might want to come back and bring back to you, just as far as testing dates. Mr. Walker had asked about maybe the ACT, and if we could look at that date. That date has not been set yet, so we may have to maybe come back and take a look at that. But I think the calendar is in your packet. We've received tentative approval from the state as far as our early release days. The calendar pretty much mirrors the same calendar that we have this year. It will start a week later in August, but it will end by Memorial Day, just because of the way the date ranges fell. Everything seems to be in order. If the board is so inclined to approve it, we will move forward. Or I'll answer any questions that you may have.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve the calendar for 2015-16 school year. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion to approve and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you. Thank you very much. We'll get that word out hopefully tomorrow. Next item is just a calendar revision. I want to bring the board up to date on kind of where we're at for this year with all the weather conditions that we have. We're down to one inclement weather day. The way the weather looks, that could be a possibility latter part of this week. We're under state mandate to get 150 days in before we test in April with TCAP. So right now, if we miss Thursday and Friday, we will be right on that 150-day mark. We would have to make up one day, that we could possibly put at the end of the calendar if needed. But if not, then we've got some plans that we may have to come back to the board with. But one suggestion, since we have missed a lot of instructional days, Thursday is scheduled to be an early release day for professional development. Talk to our staff, talk to our principals, talk to our leadership team, and we all feel that we need to have that as a full day of instruction for students. So whether coming in may be a moot point, but I would like to ask the board to amend our calendar this year to make Thursday a full day of instruction. and we will send that to the commissioner for their approval.
It's been put before us that we would need to change Thursday to
March 5th.
March the 5th from early release day to a 4-day construction. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
You make a motion.
I thought you did. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Okay, thank you. We'll get that word out on the airwaves, and we appreciate that. And that gives us at least one more full day if the winter weather holds off. Couple of other items that we got before I'll turn it back over to Autumn for just an update on our reading go. One that's not on the agenda, the beach program that we have at Bridgestone. Shannon Gulick is in charge of that program now. She would like to invite the board to come and visit that program at some point in time. If you haven't been there, I would encourage you to go. If you'd like for me to arrange a date, I will do so and see if we can work that out for you to go one afternoon, one evening. But if you'll just let me know kind of after the meeting, if you're interested, then I'll try to arrange that time. Last thing, I have, we've been in discussion. I think you have a handout that was given to you this evening. It's the packet. It's a collaborative partnership, workforce investment partnership is the title. And this has been ongoing discussion. I wanted to cover it. It's not on the agenda as well before I get into the last two items. But Dr. Locks and Mr. Garrison are here from our local TCAT, and we've had a relationship with them for a pretty long time with supplying students and agreements that we've had. But as Jimmy came on board, Mr. Walker came on board as the principal at the high school, one of his goals was to continue to improve our CTE program. And much like we did with Motlow, and we have dual enrollment credits there, we'd like to do much the same with TCAT, allowing our students to be able to go to TCAT McMinnville and earn college credit, and in like terms, possibly have those students who complete with us over the last couple of years that would like to earn credits that they can't offer, such as culinary arts, and machining, things of that type, that they could come to our campus and earn those credits. We'd like to kind of flesh this out a little bit more, but if you kind of look at the highlights, welding, to begin August 2015, we've purchased 2 welding booths, I think out of our funds, and TCAT has purchased the other part of the welding equipment for us, so that we can have a welding program at Warren County High School that would train workers to go to our local factories and manufacturing plants. You can kind of see the bullet points there, and on the back part are some more intense details. The next page is machine tool technology that we'd like to begin in August, where our students would go to the TCAT and be able to earn credit in machine tool technology courses. You can kind of see the hours and the certificates that they could earn there. As we kind of move on over. Culinary arts and hospitality, that would be where students might come to Warren County High School to our culinary arts program. TCAT would help us upgrade some of our equipment there. They would all be Warren County students that graduated from Warren County High School that would come back. And they would be identified with different IDs and pass background checks, things of that type. We put a time limit on graduation in the class of 2014 or 2015. So there'd be students that would have already graduated that would come back, and we've researched 3 other schools that do this with no problem at all. Then I think the last part at the end is our early childhood program, as well as other opportunities that we may see down the road. I think Mr. Walker is here and can answer any questions about that if need be. We're all in agreement. Dr. Locks and Mr. Garrison are here. And it's something that we would like to, move forward with, and then bring to you from now to the time we start, monthly updates of where we're at with the program. So I know it kind of hit you with this cold. It's not necessarily a decision-making thing that we have to just make a decision about all these things this evening. But I guess what we're asking is if this is something that we would need to have further study on and, start the ball rolling on our end. So,
I was just wondering, how many students would be like a whole classroom that could go and help this? You have to have, I know the need, I feel like we have the need. How many students would it take to fulfill a class?
Could be a dual combination.
On an individual class, we were running that we have 16 to 1 ratio. But that's, on the average, if you take a look at the whole school, but that's what we shoot for. And if there's any other variation that would be required by the state or licensure issues, that's the ratio we run with.
Okay, thank you.
I think Dr. Locks would have to take this through the Tennessee Board of Regents as well to get it approved if we want to move forward with this. So, like I said, if this is something that the board wants us to pursue, then Dr. Locks will take it to that next level, and then we can bring that back and get, overall approval as we move forward.
Chairperson, if it's in order, I want to move that the board authorize Mr. Cox and the administration to continue these consultations with TCAT, Dr. Locks, and Mr. Garrison and their team, because I see this as a tremendous opportunity. And I think Mr. Rigsby, as your welding instructor, is probably the best welding instructor in Tennessee, maybe in the whole South. And we've got Randy England in machine technology. He's certainly up and ready to go. So I think we have a very strong relationship, and we need to build on it. That's my motion.
Do I have a second on this motion?
Second.
Is there any further discussion?
Will there be any, will this lead to students working at any businesses and going beyond just the classroom setting?
I think they have to have I know TCAT has to have is it 80% placement rate? Is that correct?
Yeah, we have to have a 80% completion and 85% placement. And licensure usually runs around 90-some. The required is 85, but we're running, close to 90-some% on licensure. And that's validated and submitted on an annual basis. If we don't meet those, then the program is put on probation, and we have a year to correct it.
Tracy might answer that question as well, or Jimmy, either one.
Is there any further development, maybe from the high school level?
Yes.
When they're taking these courses, can we set students up to where they're?
Work-based learning.
Yes. There's a component where you can send out a student, like we do in our clinical internship now, when we have students leaving school 2 periods a day to go to the hospital and do some internship activities. We can set up those kinds of opportunities for students as well in any of these areas we're exploring.
And that's what our future goal is.
I think that's a big niche that we certainly develop.
I think that's one of the things we definitely, the talks that Jimmy and Tracy and I have had, that the more students that can leave our facility with a training certificate that are able to go to work, the better off we are. So.
Tracy, if a child wanted to pursue further education after they're out of high school and complete the TCAP program, would any of those credits count in a college setting? Would that help them or better them?
It could. I mean, the way we have it set up, if we go through TCAT with this program, if they can start it at the 11th grade level and take it the 11th grade year and the 12th grade year and earn hours toward either a diploma or a certificate, it's TCAT. May not or have enough hours to get that certificate when they walk across the high school stage, but at least they started those hours and are able to go right into TCAT right after graduation. Now, are you asking can they go on to another college besides TCAT?
Right.
That's a possibility, yes.
All right.
Depending on the level or the program area that they're in.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you. I think that in the next to last item, we discussed at our retreat or workshop the position of a director of individual educational success. That was the alternative. I think it was, I can't remember how I did it, but it was kind of more negatively termed than that.
Yeah.
So we tried to work on that and try to make a different job title for this job description. Put it in the packet. It's the same job description. What we would hope to do with that, as I said, was to flesh out more online programming. Again, just more resources for students to be in a non-traditional hybrid setting, but to continue to stay in school and gather maximum funding. So if there's any questions on this, I'll try to answer it. If not, I just need your approval to move forward.
How many students might this touch?
Well, if they were stationed in the high school, it was kind of our plan, be more like a graduation coach. Last year, there was endless number of students. I mean, what, 150 to 200?
Anywhere from 150 to 180 people.
Okay.
And we've got like one person working this right now?
We've got one person that's doing it, Mr. Curtis is doing it right now between the high school and running the alternative school, or alternative school, the high school. You know, one of the things with this that I would like to see done is, and Jimmy and I talked about that, is the students that maybe are on the borderline of needing to stay at the high school or go to an alternative setting, just for various different reasons. If we could develop online courses, you know, set them up a hybrid schedule where it's, you know, part-time in the classroom, part-time online course, and they stay at the high school, and we can gather that funding, you know, more readily there because they're earning a full ADM. If they go now to the adult high school, we have to pay them as a dropout, number one. Then we lose that ADM funding because the funding transfers to hours present rather than days scheduled fully. So we lose funding, you know, for doing that, but it's still providing that service. I think last year we had 125 students that were able to graduate and complete because we had that service available. You know, those kids may not have graduated, may have dropped out if we didn't have something like this. So.
One of the things I talked with Carl yesterday, we were discussing this right here, is with RTI and stuff, kicked in, we were talking about this would give us an opportunity to get to high school to catch them at an earlier age so they don't get so far behind. That we can actually pull and foster those kids in, keep them up to where they need to be. Instead of waiting till, like, you got a sophomore ready to graduate, supposed to be graduating, it creates a problem. So in the discussion of that, we were looking at what Molly was saying to try to get an early intervention program for these 9th and 10th graders, especially 10th graders, when we catch them in, not letting them get so far behind. And we can use that.
So, are you talking about like this is, you recognize them as a 10th grade program? Then this is like pulling a one-on-one basis to monitor them?
Well, he or she, whoever got the job, would set up a program that would work for them. It might be if it's a special ed student, it might be in a program like is at the high school right now. It might be a partial program where they're, you know, 2 hours at the high school and then the rest of the time at the alternative school or the adult high school. Or it might be a totally online program where we set up, credits or courses for them online where, we're monitoring them possibly doing online work.
I guess what I'm asking is, this person would be, that's their specific job, is to take care of those type of students and follow, I guess is what.
And help them be successful, yes, and help them be successful. And if those that fall through the cracks, help them not fall through the cracks.
Will this include like those who want alternative educational processes? I mean, this isn't necessarily the kid that's falling through the crack either. This is also going to take into effect the kid that may want to leave early to pursue college at 16 or pursue a different track early. So these people are going to be covered under that as well, because that's such a growing trend where these kids education has went so many different directions now.
I mean, I think the opportunities are endless, and the more research that I've done on it, the more that I see people tapping in more to online alternative scheduling of students rather than just the lockstep. You got to be here from 8 to 3. Obviously we're not going to be able to replace a teacher, but sometimes for kids to be successful, they're looking for those alternatives. It may be a little bit of type thing where they may, we've studied several times a middle college, high school concept where students would actually go from middle school into a more college or advanced course setting. So I think there's definite opportunities there.
Well, I'll say this, I went back to being educated. I'm being educated in the year 2015 instead of 1994. It's a whole new world.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Working on an MBA right now, and the process took me a month to learn to get started. So.
Well, I think, we're trying to scope the job description out to target, specific skills, but make it broad enough to where we gather people in. I mean, there's a skill set there that a person will have to have, but, I think the question was asked by Mr. Jalen, do we have people that would be qualified for this? I think so. I think, we have administrators, we have special education teachers, we have, administrators that are alternative and adult high school settings. It's broad enough where you can catch several, I think. And it's just going to be the person who's got the right fit, for the job. And who knows, we may have somebody from outside, I don't know. But, I think it gives us an opportunity to at least explore. It's in the federal program's budget, it's not in the GP budget. If there's something that happens that we have to cut that budget, then, this is a position that's not really an essential position. We'd have to, cut that position. But I think at least it gives us an opportunity to do something a little on the cutting edge.
We need to move further off the job description. Okay, I move to adopt the job description for the director of individual learning success.
A motion's been put before us to approve this job description. Is there a second? Second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you very much. And I'll just ask Autumn to give us a brief summary of where we're at on our 90% ready to go.
Why do you use this microphone?
Okay. I will be very brief. I just want to let you know that we do have our reading task force. We have our reading task force up and running. We've met one time so far. We just went ahead and kind of tackled into our sight work practices, and some of our next work will be looking at our phonics instruction and what we use for that, and our small group practices, trying to make all that time that we use in K-3 reading classrooms very meaningful. The other piece of information that I'll share about our 90% goal work is that we are coming up on our third universal screening window for this year, which will be our last universal screening window. It will run from the 11th of this month, so it will start next week, and it will run through April 10th. So at the April board meeting, I'll have that last piece of data for you so you can see the progress that we've made throughout the course of the year. And another good thing about doing that before May is that we'll have between April and May to react to that data for those kids that continue to be in intervention, or for kids that might need intervention that weren't previously identified. So with that being said, that's all I have.
Okay. Next up is Curriculum and Achievement Committee, Mr. Taylor.
Okay, Madam Chairperson, Curriculum Achievement Committee met earlier this evening and adopted on first reading policies GCRD, extra pay, overtime pay, and compensation time for non-exempt employees, and also on first reading policy JR, student records. So I'm going to move for adoption of the full board of those two policy actions.
We've got a motion to approve on first reading policy GCRD, policy JR. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Madam Chairperson, the only other action, well, a couple of things, but the last item was brought up under the director's report, but we did approve in committee on second reading policy GAJ, that's employee of the month award criteria, so I move for adoption of the full board.
We have a motion to approve on second reading policy GAJ, employee of the month criteria. Do I have a second? Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Madam Chairperson, the only other thing on the curriculum achievement agenda is the Workforce Investment Collaborative Partnership Agreement with TCAT, and we handled that under the operational board, so we don't need further action on that. That completes our report.
That was for Tracy to go into further discussion with the crowd.
Yeah, we already have
But that came out of, we've already got that approved there.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, next up is Facilities and Resource Management.
Okay. We met earlier this afternoon. First item is Centertown Pavilion. Ms. Pam Fallon requested to build outdoor pavilion for older students at Centertown. Motion was approved in second. Next on the items of business was our project updates. Wellness Center at the high school, the current design is progressing nicely, moving as scheduled. Going to Bobby Ray, the fire marshal has reviewed current work, and Mr. Derek Primo feels that, and the fire marshal feels that there's no problems as foreseen with the state fire marshal approval in the future. He did say that the bleachers are to be bid as an alternate bid in this project. Just so, because of budget constraints, he thought that would be beneficial to us. And lastly, our Urban College project, we're still awaiting the topographical survey to be completed. Current plans are consistent with the original plans, with only minor modifications. And lastly, there was a motion brought for the board to purchase 10 acres at Urban College, but failed due to a lack of second.
I believe that you had, correct me if I'm wrong, we had on a committee a motion to approve the Centertown Pavilion.
We did. We had a motion to approve, and a second motion carried.
Okay, we need to approve that as far as the bids. Okay, I'll have a second.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Is there a, they have all the funds to complete this already?
I think they said that we had.
They paid it out, or is that in the school system?
Hold on, where's Don? You know how much is that project over 5,000? Well, is that project at Centertown over 5,000?
Well, she ain't got a quote yet.
Okay.
I told her not to.
Okay. If it's over 5,000, we'll have to do it. Yeah.
And she knows that.
They haven't got any bids yet.
So they said they have the money to cover it, but if it's over 5,000, then they'll bid it.
Make sure that the money's there.
I will. We will.
Any
Check
further
on that.
discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, are there any other fee reports or any other business fee?
No, Madam Chair, in fact, I have this is a 1 minute report. I want to kind of reinforce what Mr. Cox said in appreciation to the Morrison school community for the nice reception this evening and for making these preparations. I was at Tennessee Christian School for that state championship game, and I was just a few seconds into the first period getting in there, and the gentleman who was selling the ticket said, "I hope you can find a seat on the Warren County side." I want to compliment the Morrison community of people from all over Warren County showing up to support our 7th and 8th grade boys and their coach and their principal and their teachers. I have never seen that much excitement at any kind of sporting event. It was absolutely amazing, the energy in there. And although we came up just a little bit short on the final tally, our team fought valiantly and fought with spirit, and well coached, showed great sportsmanship. So, you know, I want to compliment you on that. And one last thing, our teacher of the year for the middle grades, Miss Joanna, in her resume, or not her resume, but her essay, made the statement that you matter. And I think that is so true, and I'd like to say that to all of our teachers in Warren County, the administrators, the supervisors, the department directors, coordinators. You truly do matter. And I am personally offended and hurt by the fact that some, what I would call education dilettantes, have become politically very hyperactive in the legislature in Nashville and elsewhere, not just in Tennessee, but across the country. And part of their rhetoric, I regret to say, is to undermine and try to discredit and denigrate our teachers and our education system. I think that is tragic. I think that is more than unfortunate. It is tragic. Because these teachers, administrators, you know, I know they pour their heart out every day going into the classroom. And I just regret to see this effort to discredit our teachers and our schools and our education establishment. And you know, the purpose for this, the motivation is quite transparent. It's the corporatizing of public education. Because these people feel that if they can plant in the public's mind the idea that our schools are failing, then that opens the avenue for the privatization of education. And in that scenario, I wonder what is their motivation. Is it doing the best thing for the students, or doing the best thing for the stockholders? So that's my concern. I'll get off my soapbox. That's all I have to say, Madam Chairperson. Thank you.
Okay, if there's no other business, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Do I have a second? All in favor say aye.
Right.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you all for attending.